Hey, good evening. If you're watching live, welcome to episode 176 of About the Cards podcast, live tonight on YouTube. As always, with host Stefan Loeffler at Junkwax Twins.
Oh, hi.
Myself, Ben Wilson, at Our Trading Cards. We are a podcast by collectors and for collectors, and we hope to bring you a smart and insightful podcast discussing trading card collecting. All cards tell a story. The story is more important than the card itself. The hobby is about the story. We are live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific.
10 Central.
That's right. On YouTube, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at About the Cards. We're available as a podcast, not just somewhere, but everywhere you can find a podcast. And if we're not, please let us know. You can check out our website, aboutthecards.wordpress.com. A couple of quick announcements, or a quick announcement. Steph and I are trying to add more members to our About the Cards Buy Sell Trade group on the Facebook. If you're interested in joining, you can please search for us. Remember, we do have two pages now. We have the Buy Sell Trade group as well as just the normal podcast page, which does all the show updates and everything along those lines. After a couple of different change of directions, we do have a special guest with us tonight. The better half of Steph, we have Angela Loeffler at Junkwax Life. You still add underscore / Creed Thoughts Castle.
I am also at another _ Castle. But
Yeah, the whole double underscore is just weird. It's like one would have been sufficient.
It's a common name, man. I left in the double underscore.
No, that's cool. So
another castle.
So we get two of the Loefflers tonight for the price of one admission. So
We do. Well, we almost had three, but the cat just hopped off the post.
Yep.
That's right here.
we did, and we're not giving the cat credit because it's a cat. So, but we're excited. We're excited to have Ange back with us. It's been a while since she's had an opportunity to sit in and give us, her thoughts, as well as it's always nice to have a little bit of the female perspective as well. So what's up with you? What have you got lately? I know you guys recently did the Dallas Card Show a couple weeks back. What have you been collecting aside from what he's been collecting?
Not really. I mean, I'm always adding to the Ginter collection, but very, very limitedly. I think I just, like at the Dallas Card Show, I bought a 2021 hobby box of Ginter, but not much else. So
No, because you had that vintage stuff.
no, I didn't buy it that show.
No,
but I've been buying
recently,
some
since the last time you've been on.
Oh, well, yeah. I've been buying some vintage non-sports stuff, so I'm looking to maybe start the Horrors of War. Don't know.
Or some of the airplane sets that you'd picked up a couple cards out of.
Yeah.
A lot of those sub insert sets are really fun. You know, the only problem I have with them when they first release is when they go like 10 to the checklist, and it's like, stop.
Right.
You know, go to 15, stop at 9. Stop at 8, but don't go 10. That's just stupid.
Go to 18.
10 is annoying because, like, if you go 8, I can put like a card in front and be like, "This is the set." That's like my perfect number is 8 because then you get the beauty card and then you get the 8 card set. The 9 card set is fine.
What about the old days? You put a wrapper to begin your set, right? I mean, a lot of us did that in the first slot of the first binder page, or in that 78 slot on a 77 card non-sport. You know, you'd have that as part of your set.
Yeah.
But one thing I did start doing with some of the Star Wars I was collecting a few months back was, if it stopped at 10, you just kind of start that next insert set and just let them run together. So you could always do that too if you have them all complete. It's not.
I've done that with Ginter. I'm like, when it falls on like a weird number, I'm like, I gotta keep going. I can't just stop and have all that space in the binder because there's lack of space when it comes to like bindering the master like base card set, because it's kind of ridiculous.
I have that issue with Gypsy Queen. It was actually Nick Vosbrink who kind of turned me on to reorganizing my cards this way, like a 10 card Gypsy Queen set, because I do get parallel sets. Do the base, which will stop at 10, and then put all your actual inserts in 11 through 18, right? But then your parallel sets. If you've got the green, this year you had the font script swap, and then you have the no name. Years past, you'd had the Gypsy Queen. So if I had 3 parallel sets, do them across, right? So if you've got Elvis Andrus, you do the green, the no name, and the font script, and then you go to the next player. And then what that does is you have 3 players per 9 pages.
Okay.
3 full pages, and then you get that 10th player on a page by himself. But then you have 6 open slots for perhaps bazooka backs or additional parallels. At least it flows a little better and doesn't have you with all of these extra 1-card pages that you have 8 openings and go, now what?
Now what?
So,
It looks so terrible, and it sits in the binder terribly too.
It does. I'm cool with because in that case now I've got 3 beautiful pages of 3 by 3 times the 9 players, and then that 1 extra page that I can get creative with that doesn't suck so bad. Poor Marcus Simeon is all by himself. But
I mean, when you get stuck with the 1 card, it's like, do I put it in the middle of the page so the page sits right, or do I, it bothers me then that's not at the top left, or
or do you put those 3? Again, if you were to do the parallel sets with that 10th card by himself, do you do hit just a page of just him, and then it almost supports doing it the way that Nick suggested? So again, there's no right or wrong way to binder stuff. It's always fun to get different ideas.
The answer is I did not pull anything good. We shared a retail box of Upper Deck Series 2 as well. I did pull the Capris off, so that was about it, man.
No, I had a measly box of Diamond Kings, a Casey Mize number to 99, which fancy, and a Garrett Crochet. I'm not exactly sure. Dual relic auto. I think we discussed that last week, but
yeah,
I think
probably.
so. But and that Andrew is in here and not on here, asking if we pulled anything good, unless he's talking to Herman, I suppose.
So we don't have a ton at the top of the show, so we're going to kind of get into it a little earlier tonight.
Sure.
Perhaps that cuts it. But I wanted to get into your the listener mail day pull. I know this week's feature, unless we had some others that I didn't see, Steph is actually going to be the featured guest on this segment. So what and who and why did we get this mail day?
Sure. I did did receive one from Hoyle, but just to break up his 2-week streak here. We'll share that next week. From Jeff Selsky, or ZIUIOFDFHJKFBSK, as Bennett put it. And I told him that, by the way.
Jeff's last name is his own eye chart.
Indeed. He broke a box or 2 of Upper Deck Timmy's, and he sent me the Wild Team set as well as one of the Kaprizov inserts. So now I'm only missing 2 inserts. So thanks for that, Jeff. This came in the mail, and I think it's about 2 weeks old now. A nice foil embossed, as you can see on the Jordan Greenway. There's a nice rainbow reflection going on if you tilt the cards just right. And that is just a cool looking promotion.
It makes me
motion
jealous that the States don't get any Timmys, because they look actually wonderful in person.
Well, and that may have been a question that we asked somebody who was, why don't we have a McDonald's or a
Dunkin' Donuts.
A Dunkin' Donuts, or even like a Walmart redemption that's not regional.
Yeah. We still are channeling Jason Mazara with Upper Deck. If we can get him on in the upcoming weeks, we'll have a question, ask him, see what he says. I mean, who didn't like going to Denny's and getting those old Upper Deck holograms back in the old days?
The ones with the nice foil going on, tilt back to forward.
Or the Kraft pop-up ones from the Kraft cheese slices.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, because they did Lord of the Rings too for a while. I think those were Upper Deck, if I'm not mistaken. And shoot, I don't care, man. If you're getting the Grand Slam breakfast and a cup of coffee and giving a hard time to the old waiter or waitress, and you get to take a baseball or Lord of the Ring card home.
True story at a Denny's. Mind you, I was 6, so. bear with you. Everyone else had finished at the table, and the waitress tried to grab my plate, except that she didn't realize there was still a slice of bacon on it, and I apparently swatted her with my fork and then took the piece of bacon. Like, what wasn't done here yet? But I mean, you know, as a 7-year-olds do, as 7-year-olds do.
No, hey, I'm sorry. I'm a 40-something-year-old, and if I'm not done, I'm not done. If I'm done, you can take it, right? But if I'm still actively eating, don't take it out of my hands.
Right. I mean, listen, you know, when they say stealing candy from a baby, it wasn't going to be me.
Obviously.
But speaking of family, but both father and grandfather, the father and uncle are celebrating this, as well as many millions of others, as well as Rod Carew. Today is the 246th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. Semper Fi to all of you, as well as with the is it Memorial Day? No, Veterans Day.
Veterans Day. Yeah.
Veterans Day tomorrow.
Or today for George and Dan over in South Korea, who
indeed
are considerably many hours ahead of us.
Yes.
But Rod Crew posted his old U.S. Marines Reserves dress blues.
Nice. Look at him looking dapper too.
Right. Nice.
That little half smile. I mean, that's just, you know.
See, I'd love to see this on a card.
That would be cool, right?
You
know, I mean, we know how many great veterans that you know, whether it be the Ted Williams and the Willie Mazes of the world that served during World War II and you know, obviously
Korea.
You know, Pat Tillman.
Vietnam.
I think you can get enough for a full on set. Release.
You certainly could.
With cut signatures in that, I think cut signatures would go better with.
Yeah,
some of them, sure.
Didn't Jackie Robinson serve as well, or am I misremembering?
I want to say yeah.
Say yes.
I don't know that he like actually served overseas, but I do believe he was involved in the military.
So yeah, from About the Cards, hey, happy Veterans Day if you're listening tonight, tomorrow, next week, next month. Happy Veterans Day, and if you are one of our listeners and you've served or have a family member, hey, thank you for your service. I mean, keeping our country safe is an amazing, and I mean it's awesome, and we as Americans owe you a great debt of gratitude for that.
Jackie served in the Army.
Very cool. I was certain he served. I just couldn't remember which one, which branch. But so now, awesome for Jeff. I want to throw a quick shout out to Ryan Wolf, one of our listeners. He's been listening for a few years now, and he had some Mark McGuire memorabilia, some Wheaties boxes, and some magazines he wanted to get into my hands. And he's like, "How can we do this?" And he ended up putting them up as a buy it now or best offer on eBay for a stupid price. And basically what it did was allow him to get the shipping calculator and be able to print a shipping label for me. He put the items for $1,000 or best offer. He's like, yeah, I put a stupid offer. And I was like, responded to him thinking, there are probably people out there that put that and think that's a fair price. You know, quick little 99-cent bid. He accepted, shipped it. Awesome. So I will share that next week. Hopefully, I think it's in transit. Should be here by the end of the week. So I'll share what he did give. And I appreciate Ryan for having that. And of course, thinking about me. And of course, you know, from the bottom of our hearts, you know, from Steph and I, we appreciate you listening and supporting. So
indeed.
Please feel free, if you're out there, to share your About the Cards, recent awesome mail days or pulls. Let's not just have it be the Mark Hoyle show as much as we love what he shares. Let's give him some competition. Let's ramp it up. You can tag @About the Cards on Twitter with pictures or a video. Keep those under 60 seconds. G-rated. Use #AboutTheCards Mail Day, and we'll try to get you on an upcoming episode. So let's hop into the week that was last week's releases. Topps Living 191, a couple of World Series players. You had card 463, Eddie Rosario of the Braves, and 464, Framber Valdez of the Astros. Unless I missed it.
One of those guys.
Yeah, you do. I didn't see any sold numbers. Topps has been a little bit behind the game on certain things. We'll get into that in a little bit. So those are great. No longer for sale from Topps, of course. New cards are out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and good looking Eddie Rosario. Nothing against Sato. She does a phenomenal job. But Jared Kelly, when you look at the helmet and the lights as they shine off and the reflection,
you can even see
amazing.
like a bit of motion blur going on it off his shoulder.
Definitely one of his better ones.
Waiting for the About the Cards logo to be reflecting somewhere in one of yours. If you're out there, Jared, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink.
Remember?
Yeah, it's right here in the corner.
He already had the A on the helmet. All he had to do was add the TC, and we would have been all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Easter egg.
So, also releasing last week, Upper Deck AHL Hockey came out on the 3rd. Topps Archives on the 5th. WWE Transcendent Collection Wrestling on the 5th. Panini Chronicles Baseball on the 5th. And Panini Prism Racing came on the 5th. So, not a lot going on this week. We'll cover a couple of things hot off the presses. Topps Living 192 came out today. Card 465, another Brave, Jorge Soler. This was a really neat card. Also, Jared Kelly's work.
World Series MVP, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, back-to-back Braves for him. And I know a lot of people were clamoring for Soler Braves cards.
Right.
Not in update, of course. But you can now get your Topps Living. So grab that. You got 6 days and 12 hours left. You are on the clock.
Interesting center field pose here that Willie Mays doing the 54 World Series Vic Wertz drive. Wonder if that's just him holding the trophy.
The crooked hat and the smile, I love the card. It's a great image that he had to work with as his source. And then in the background, you've got the A and the world champion. Looks like on the Jumbotron, perhaps?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then card 466 was Shane McClanahan, rookie card pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays. So, interesting.
Once a Cub brings up a good point, I wonder if there's any team that has a cap that has a TC on it.
If there is, we would like to know. We'll see if we can.
Ben.
Twin Cities?
Yeah.
I do need to apologize. I've been a little distracted with some personal stuff the last few weeks. So the old noggin is not as sharp as perhaps it could be. Topps Living Star Wars available through next Tuesday. These are both from Star Wars The Bad Batch, card 255 Echo and card 256 Omega. Echo and Omega
is a thing that we need to get to watching.
I know.
Are they coming out with season 2?
I haven't watched any of it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't kept up.
I also did not, however, finish most of the cartoons. So realistically speaking, I need to take a vacation just so that I can watch all of the cartoons.
Well, and I do know that they pushed back at the Rogue Squadron, which is maybe the one that I was most looking forward to of any of their upcoming shows and seasons. I guess that's unfortunate.
Yeah, my thought when I saw this was, them both being from the Bad Batch, maybe there's a new season coming down the pipeline, and
would make sense.
And for you, Ange, hey, who knows? Maybe a vacation to San Diego will be in your future coming up soon. Who knows? Could be fun. Last week of Topps Sports Illustrated, available through next Tuesday, week 35 of 35. Card 69, Shohei Ohtani from 2021. And card 70, Derek Jeter, the captain from the Yankees, of course, 2014. I believe there are auto available, or at least were. Probably not anymore. But that is all she wrote.
Quick Google shows that the season 2 is set to debut next year.
Okay.
At some point. Nice show time.
I like that.
It's a good looking cover, yeah.
It's Derek Jeter. I mean,
yeah.
I was talking about the Ohtani. Yeah, Jeter. I mean,
there's nothing special about this.
Nothing we haven't seen before.
No.
But they're good looking cards. If you've bought any, enjoy. Definitely a good 2-pack to grab if you're just kind of cherry picking which ones you like. And then Topps Throwback Thursday available through tomorrow morning. This is the fourth and final Baseball in Action from 1982. This is set 44. Card 130, Chris Bryant as a Giant. 131, Derek Jeter with short print variation. And card 132, Jared Kelnick. So if somebody was asking earlier, I saw on Facebook about the Fernando Tatis, which was either last week before, seeing if anybody had seen the short print variation. They were looking for it and had not yet seen one pop. So Ricky Henderson had one of these some time ago, and I never did see the short print variation or photo variation. So I don't know. Kind of keep an eye out for those. It'd be interesting. I'd like to know what kind of the market is on the short print variation for these. Are they, the 50 range, 100 range, 200 range? I know it's going to be player specific, but kind of get an idea how they're selling versus the $5 card version. Sure. All right, major releases. I saw you updated the price point. Cool. We got 2020-2021 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Hockey drops today, coming in at $120 a box. Blowout was already sold out this morning. 20 packs per box, 4 cards per pack. You'll get a 200 base card set, so it looks like you'll need, 3 boxes with good collation to perhaps get a full set.
Give or take, sure.
150 vets, 50 rookies, comprise the 200 card set. A box should get you 6 retro, 5 base parallels, 3 inserts, and then you'll get 5 additional parallels and 1 auto. How does this stack up to Series 1?
I kind of need this in a green.
Yeah, let's take a moment to appreciate the Kaprizov that's currently on the screen.
Maybe Emerald Surge is a bit out of my price range, but no, it's kind of like a Topps Chrome, a Topps, it's a Panini Prism. It's a slightly more premium than a base set.
Gotcha.
It's they do or at least I have seen in the past them do an OPG regular set as well. This is kind of like the platinum premium version, the platinum card type deal.
Why are they doing stock? Why is this 2021 and not 21-22?
Probably delayed, if I were to guess.
Into the next season?
I mean, at this point...
it even does mention this isn't later than in previous seasons.
Okay.
It's like that year the basketball was releasing products for 4 years on the same rookie class.
Yeah.
But I mean, this year is a completely different circumstance, if you will. I do kind of like these photo-driven. I wonder if Nick has a photo in it.
The photographer strip?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are neat. I like the black and white.
Yeah.
Kind of nice. There was a Stadium Club insert that had this type of deal, like a photographer's proof or something like that. Early 2000s. And I liked it then, I like it now. It's kind of cool.
Well, Stadium Club Baseball has a super short print, usually at a 10 parallel as well, with the strip down the side. Gotcha. I like this because if you were to put these in 8-pocket pages, they would probably, assuming that they're all horizontal, it'd be really nice to take a look at. They would bleed really together. I guess even if they're vertical, get 3 in a row, you just have to look at them sideways to appreciate them.
Right.
Yeah.
So also coming out today, Topps Triple Threads coming at you at $390 a box. You'll get 2 packs and 7 cards per pack. 100-card base set, 2-pack master pack includes 1 auto triple relic under 99, 1 triple relic under 36, 1 auto rookie card or auto jumbo relic under 99, and 1 jumbo relic under 48. So, and then it's all, the amethyst and the emeralds and the rubies and the citrine colored parallels for the base. Watching Mojo. I mean, Triple Threads is a really nice product. It really is.
It is, but here's the hot thing about it that I'm like, there's no reason there should be base cards in this, and it should only be 1 pack.
Similar, like 5-star.
Yeah.
At the same time, those are almost better sales for me because they make them up for a quarter from a dime box, or a dime or a quarter from a box, and sell them for $1 or $2, $3 on ComC all day, every day, and people buy them. So
Yeah,
for those that are in the marketplace.
Yeah, if you pull any McGuire parallels, I have picked up the Amethyst. I'm looking for all of the rest, including the base. So those are, I love triple threads. You're probably right, Ange. It's probably not necessary to have such a deep checklist. I mean, it's only 100 cards, but it should be hit driven. Yeah, you know, that's where this. But again, when triple threads started 10 years ago, this was high end.
This was high end, but
Yeah.
nowadays it's like, why is it still got a base?
But even then, where's the thread on a base card?
There is no thread on a base card.
And why do you have single relics if it's triple threads, right? I mean, if we're just being...
Well, if you have 3 different colored on the patch, I would consider that a triple thread. But like the one pictured, actually,
that was pictured. Yeah, one sec.
Back up. Like there's 3 different colors, man. So I'd call that a triple thread.
It's a really, really nice product that is kind of the rest of the hobby has passed it by, I think. Sure. And triple threads, I think, used to be like a March product, if I'm not mistaken. It was really, really early in the calendar back in like 13, 14, 15. And now it seems like it's one of those ones that always gets pushed back. And hey, it came out today, so congrats. Yeah, and there are some really fun ones in triple threads when they have the relics that have, you know.
If we drop, it's the what storm?
Apparently, it's going to rain.
And then also coming out, this one on Friday, November 12th, is Panini National Treasures Baseball. $630 a box. You'll get 1 pack, 8 cards. They're all going to be autos or mems. There will be chase cards like bat knobs and cut signature booklets. So National Treasures is what it is. Definitely a product that you're going to want to chase on the secondary market. Like so many of these higher end. Look at your checklist, figure out what it is you might want to chase and what's on your want list. Let somebody else open it and then go grab the spoils.
And exactly. I mean, this is a set that there's another set that they release. The best things about these is not to knock the cards that are on them, although I'm surprised they got away with that one. And if that's not a mock-up. Both the Phillies, the White Sox, and the Cardinal on the mock-up logos here. The cards are nice, super nice. But at least in past years, they've come in a metal casing that is great to store MagTouch type stuff for personal display. I mean, kill that and towards Angela's area.
Oh,
you can see like 5 of them right there.
Yeah, I know a lot of the...
For that exact purpose.
I forget which products they were, but yeah, you know how like a cigar shop will have the old cigar boxes, and you can buy those for a couple of bucks each, because why not, right? I mean, people want them. Same thing with some of these... Flawless. I think Panini Flawless years ago had like a really nice box.
That's the one I've been trying to think of. I knew it was an F.
And I think it was that where like the LCS was selling for like $25 a box, empty, because people wanted them in storage. And hey, no right or wrong way, right? I mean, we all have different, we store things in bankers boxes that probably shouldn't. And
reuse, recycle, man.
Yeah. Hey,
that was
so. This is going to be a big segment. Also releasing this week. Nothing. Sorry, I lied. There's nothing else coming out this week. Maybe some Yu-Gi-Oh or something. But I looked at the checklist this morning as to what was coming out today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. It's like there's nothing. So
for all what it's worth, on that front. Similar to our Walking Dead Secret Lair, there is a for this month. I think it's still ongoing. If you're looking for things to maybe pick up for an early holiday push, Magic has a Secret Lair X Stranger Things, which with each of the cards matching a character or a being from the Stranger Things series. 2 formats: regular for $39.99 and foil for $49.99. Coming pretty quick, and usually there's a bonus card hidden underneath the rest. So look for that if you
Nice.
are Magic inclined or Stranger Things. So you see Mike, 11, of course, Will, Dustin, Lucas, Max, Mind Player, Chef, Chief Jim Hopper, as well as the Clue with the Ouija board-esque light display.
Nice. Yeah, that wasn't on the checklist, so I'm glad you had that. So there was something after all. All scheduled release dates are subject to change, but we're current as of this morning. MSRP pricing, product details were gathered from Blowout. Subject to change. Check out Ryan Cracknell's articles on Beckett.com/news for more details on these releases. What's brewing next week? 2021 Panini Flawless Collegiate Football will come out on November 17th. Also on Wednesday the 17th is 2021 Topps Stadium Club Chrome for now. It's been pushed back. And then on Friday the 19th, 2021 Onyx Vintage Extended Series.
So my one hope, because everyone loves Stadium Club, I hope that unlike last year, they do not use the same, either the print code or the same photos for the same players, because that was kind of lazy.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, you really could not tell if something was actually from Stadium Club, the insert line, or Stadium Club Chrome, the base set, unless you knew which box you pulled it out of.
And how would you know on the secondary?
You won't. Thanks, Topps.
It's a mess, especially the Stadium Club Chrome refractors. Is another. It's one of those things like Bowman Chrome and Bowman Base, Bowman Chrome. If you're going to put Bowman Chrome cards in Bowman Base, anyway, there's no reason to have
just terrible.
No reason to have Stadium Club Chrome parallels or an insert line if you're going to have a standalone release later in the year. It's just
one or the other.
This is why people don't have issues with Topps going away. So, infill chatter, hobby talk.
I have nightmares about Bowman Draft.
Oh yeah, no.
Josh Luber, the new CEO of the Fanatics Trading Card Division, former StockX CEO, released a Dear Diary, Manifesto, State of the Union, whatever you want to call it, back on November 4th. In the article, he claims that he's been writing it for quite a few months. It's a fascinating read. That doesn't mean it was good. It just is fascinating that somebody of his ilk would write something like this. I will give him credit that he wrote something like this. I can't see. First off, I don't think Jason Mazara with Upper Deck, I don't think Brian Gray with Leaf would need to.
No.
This is a whole different ball game. Can't see an Eisner doing it. Can't see anybody with Topps or Panini writing something like this. So let's give him credit for writing something like this, regardless of the content. Good for him for just kind of pushing that out there for the hobby. I would recommend everybody read it at least once. And if you want, read it twice, once from a collector's perspective and then once from an industry's perspective, if you can separate yourself. What were your initial thoughts when you guys read it or skimmed it? Or
I read a good chunk of it. It gives interesting insight into what he's planning to do as far as once essentially he takes over the hobby, the industry for those three sports. But at the same time, it's a lot of very basic summations of, well, this is how things are, and this is where I want to go, and comparing how collecting was done in the past to how there's similar parallels that seem to repeat, and how he hopes to avoid said repeats. But it is what it is. For what I did read, it was an interesting read.
I didn't do my homework.
That's all right. I've been dissecting this on Twitter the last couple of days. So if you want some of my thoughts, you're definitely welcome to hop on my Twitter timeline and see what he said versus what my counterpoint would be. A few things that I did pull for the show was he says early on in the article that he likes the smell of cards in the same sentence in which he says that all of his are slabbed. So in other words, you don't like the smell of the cards. It's not like you're in there smelling 1950s tops or 50s cardboard. You're smelling plastic. There's a difference between the smell of slabs and vintage cardboard. Let's be serious here.
Burning plastic.
Yeah. He does compare the 1994 trading card market to the 2008 housing crisis. It literally made me laugh out loud. He's like, this market crisis, because the market in quarter two dropped dramatically across the board. And he's saying it's like the 1917 Russian revolution and the 2008 housing crisis. Like, sorry, dude, that's not a linear comparison. One deals with shelter, destroy people's credit, put people outside of their home. And I mean, that was recession based. Dude, this is a hobby. These are trading cards, man. Nobody cares about your phantom. At one point, he's like, my portfolio dropped 35%. And my thought is, your what?
You have a portfolio?
What is a card portfolio? It's
so,
like stop with the investing crap. But
to give a quick summation of the table of contents, anyway,
sure,
it's a 53 page PDF file. It's also a website that just continually scrolls forever, ever, and ever, and ever, and ever, ever. I did like also. I forgot to mention that he does cite his sources. So somebody paid attention in college. That's nice. It gives an introduction, some history, trading cards in the 60s and 90s. What's next? Recent growth and volatility, card ladder, 50 index, and what it tells us about the market from COVID to 738,000 Georgian rookie sales. Q2 crash, theories of correction, general theories, special theory, indications of market health as far as low cost base, one less buyer dynamics, which Ben is keen to point out. Card shows, crypto, close grading, 2021 timeline, part 3, what inning are we in now, prices, people, and companies, part 4, sorry, risk factors, warning signs, and how to think about the future, paradox of supply, inflation risk, lessons from the sneaker market, part 5, sneakers, cards in the future, appendix bibliography at the end. So essentially, you know, like before a historic overview. So you got like the beginning, the middle, of the end, and his thoughts, theories, and financial guru isms.
I really like cards. Okay, that's a very informed statement.
Yeah, the whole thing is called trading cards are cool again. It's like, when were they not? It's just you didn't think that they were because you were into sneakers. In fact, at a TED Talk, he says that the cards were dead. Like the whole industry was dead, like in 2015. So, bad optics, my buddy. I will credit him for this before I get into a couple of things that I didn't like about the article. He did outline the year 2020 really well in there. It's about halfway in. If you want to read just that part, it's really interesting. He does includes the PSA being acquired and shutting down their subs, as well as BGS, Target cutting off retail, Topps going public, kinda. The Fanatics announcement and more. So if you want to just read the timeline of the 2021 year, that was very well done and outlined. So I will give him credit there. However, the amount of fallacies within his writings are incredible. He certainly is a product of this modern day mindset and not a true collector. I don't think he understands the pulse of the hobby at all. The entire article is written from the high-end perspective, focusing on card ladders, top 50 index. And really everything is high-end. It's completely unrelatable. It's that whole argument of baseball and the PA, right? It's millionaires fighting with billionaires, the average person working for minimum wage and questioning whether or not they need to put the bread or the milk back because they can't afford both. They're not going to understand this article because we can't relate to it. You know, he's talking about, buying high-end Jordan graded rookies for $700,000. The layperson in the hobby is not going to be able to understand and relate to not understand, but like personally relate to it, I guess I should say.
I don't necessarily know that I've even made 730,000 since I started working.
Yeah, the average person, at least a while back, it was like the average person will make something like $1.5 million in their lifetime, and that's
Right.
starting at 18 and dying at 65 or something. Anyway, the housing crisis is not a linear comparison to this market quote unquote crisis that Luber. He does use the card ladder index a lot to illustrate the market trends, analytics, and dynamics. First off, it's a small sample size, it's corrupt, and it's one tiny segmentation of the overall industry. That's it. He has a few different areas that borderline on price manipulation. And he even says at one point, he says, these high-end dealers are always looking for new marks. And it's like, man, that's just bad writing. It's bad optics. It's a bad perspective on the hobby. I did get into the top 50 index, and I was tagged with Card Ladder. And I've invited Chris McGill on, so he'll be on with Steph and I on December 15th from Card Ladder. You can find him at House of Jordans on Twitter. We'll have a good discussion, probably discussing speculation and arbitrage versus investing. So
another round 3, ding ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
I do know. I want to say anyway that we've talked to them talked to him and the House of Jordan guys in person. Nice enough. It had lively conversations. So
yeah, we'll save that for a month from now and get into the data corruption and illustrate why something like this is just a snapshot at best. Take it for what it is, just like eBay comps and everything else. But Josh Luber citing it in there like it's the way it is, and all of his analytics. And right there, if you're watching live, that's a picture of Rick Probstein right there on the scoreboard. And Luber says that he sent his whole collection to Probstein, and it's like, dude, you lose credibility the more you scroll down page by page. Sure, Luber knows how to read a chart, but don't we all? I question whether or not he can actually analyze, comprehend, and interpret and explain the data found within. I don't think he can, based on this paper and this paper alone. I don't know Luber's work as a whole. I don't know his resume. But if this is any indication of his market analytics, oh, Lord. I do have a friend who's a professor of econ at a university in Southern California. And I asked him, he does not collect cards. From talking to me, he knows some about the hobby. I asked him to read the article from a non-hobbyist perspective. He called me up and said, Lord, help your hobby with this guy in charge. Kind of left it at that. I was like, you want to elaborate? He goes, no. He goes, man, this guy's going to be fun. He goes, good thing this is a hobby and he's not in charge of the aforementioned housing market, because and again, that's a professional in the economics industry, professor, not a big fan of what Luber had to say. And Luber's not very keen on the difference between supply and demand and artificial market scarcity and artificial demand. It was a very poorly written and researched term paper overall, in my opinion. I would expect this out of a high school student looking just to get a C- to pass. That's what the writing was all over the place.
I think it was better than high school. There's actual
Did you just said you didn't read it?
They use footnotes, man. I
She's
don't know
watching
an
as I
entire
scroll through.
a single high school student that uses footnotes correctly. So
No, as far as
At
APA
least
writing,
freshmen.
perhaps. Would it pass the college APA? Sure, but it just overall,
Or
it's
MPA,
like
or Chicago Turban.
he did joke in one section that the card show killed the eBay star, and
I mean it does.
It doesn't. And let me explain. A card show is isolated to local inventory. You can only buy what's in front of you. eBay is a vast marketplace with a lot of inventory and a lot of options at different price points. And most they don't really compete with one another. It's more indirect competition. It's like going to a Starbucks for your cup of coffee or going to McDonald's for your cup of coffee. You're getting the cup of coffee at McDonald's because you happen to be there. It's indirect competition at its finest. It's very similar to, I'm going to go out for a Domino's pizza or a Round Table pizza, or I'm just going to go to the local Safeway and get a frozen pizza. It's the same thing. At the end of the day, you're still eating pizza. Two separate market dynamics, two separate segmentations. So we draw that division there. Are you still getting the same money? Not necessarily, because the money I will spend on eBay, and I'm just talking in generalizations from the abstract, the money I'll spend on eBay is not the same money that I'm going to be able to spend at a card show, because the card show is not going to have the same inventory available. As well as, when you go, you're subjected to only what is in front of you, and card shows aren't killing eBay. In fact, eBay's numbers have went up quarter over quarter at the beginning of 2021, and Josh himself outlined that. So he contradicts himself. He says on one hand they're killing themselves, on the next hand he goes, oh, in quarter one it was 980 million, and in quarter two it was 1.3 billion. Okay, Josh, pick a lane, dude. What is it? Is the card shows affecting eBay or not? Because what you just illustrated was a considerable jump in revenues. So anyway,
I think they're two different lanes, but
they are same highway. That's how indirect competition works. You're not in the same lane, but you are on the same highway. You're in the same shopping aisle, but you're shopping on different shelves. So
it also matters what you're buying. If you're buying slabs, does it really matter where you buy your slab? At the end of the day, it already has a number. There's no real.
Well, yeah, I mean it's they're independent cards, sure, theoretically, right?
Theoretically, but I mean, these guys are looking at like it's a 9. They don't look at the little tiny minuscule reasons on why it's a 9. They just know it's a 9. So
there is a lot to dissect, and I've done quite a bit of it personally. You can disagree with my opinions. Like I said, it's a fascinating read, considering what position he's going to hold with Fanatics. So good for him for writing it. Don't take my opinions, but
the use of proper grammar and proper writing.
Yeah, hey, somebody taught him well on that aspect. But he's also a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. So he's had to probably write briefs and other things as well.
He probably wrote this in his sleep.
So yeah, I would love a 20-minute phone call with him. I think that would be phenomenal, just to debate some of this stuff. So hey, if you're out there, Josh, you're welcome to come on the show with Steph and I, and we promise to be on our best behavior, mostly.
One of us does.
So moving on, eBay confirms test of immediate pay on best offer items. This is a serious issue with managed payments. Steph, you want to skim the article? Basically,
I'm calling it up here.
Yeah, when making an offer, the buyer will pre-select what payment method they will want to use. So, Steph, you got something for $10, and I'm going to say beforehand, I'm going to make you an offer of $7 for your card. I'm going to say I'm going to use my debit card, and once you accept it, you accept my best offer, $7. Boom! Immediately, the buyer, my card gets charged immediately. Mm-hmm. It doesn't go into my unpaid items. I basically, you're prepaying for it. It's like having money already there, ready to go, similar to other marketplaces.
So, an important notice from eBay Managed Payments: your your action is needed. Contain the full document with. This is the right article, right? Did you link the right thing? Did I click the wrong thing?
No, that's the right thing.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
No. Pardon me. That is the wrong one. That is the next topic. I apologize.
That's the next topic. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I mean, we all make mistakes. eBay confirms test of immediate pay on best offers. So for some buyers who make an offer on an item are forced to pay immediately upon the seller accepting the offer. eBay confirmed it is a test. You can see a screenshot of what the experience looks like for a buyer who edited the screenshot for privacy, of course. On this thread on the eBay discussion boards, eBay is attempting to eliminate the problem with deadbeat buyers and is using managed payments to do it to try to eliminate the problem of unpaid items. eBay moderator name here confirmed the test and answered questions about it on another thread on the eBay seller discussion boards. Hey all, confirming there is currently a test running enabled for some buyers where their payment method will be automatically charged when the seller accepts the offer or when the auto accept price on the offer is met. When making an offer on these buyers, these buyers, who are in the test, are prompted with a payment screen where they can choose from an existing payment methods or add a new payment method, and also add shipping address. Should the offer be accepted by the seller, the buyer will be automatically charged. Some of the key points the moderator made at this point: as a seller, there's no notification built yet to indicate I'm reading it as written. Indicate that if the payment will be immediate or not. The payment screen has an option to pick the delivery option. The buyer making an offer every time will be presented with the payment screen, so every offer the buyer, in fact, has to confirm the payment option, shipping details before they submit the offer. For every offer, the buyer does have the ability to add new payment method as well as the shipping address and choose from the delivery options available. And again, the payment is charged only when the seller accepts the offer. The buyer who is in this test segment, when they are presented with the payment screen, there's a link on there to provide feedback on the new experience. Team is constantly reviewing these feedback, and this will be used to share the product into a better product, reading it as written. If you're in the test group and you're prompted for the payment, then this is the only way you can submit offers. This is the current behavior for the test group.
So I think the biggest issue with this, and I'm sure there are others, at least my first
Essentially,
instinct,
it's a buy it now.
Yeah, but it's not because, well, yeah, I guess it's a buy it now with the best offer feature. The problem with this is going to be, but see, on a buy it now that you can add to your cart, right?
Yeah.
I can put 5 of your items in there and then request a total, which locks me in to buy them from you, and then you now have the invoice option. I think that's going to be the biggest issue. Is I want to buy multiple items from you and I want to make offers. How do I do it without?
I wonder, though this is a test, that eventually that you can then move multiple cards to the same offer and do a group offer.
It's going to be only because I've bought from guys before where I'd go like, hey, Steph, you got 50 buy it now's best offers. I'm going to buy like 50 of them. I'm going to offer you 25% off of all of them. Are you interested? You say yes. Cool. I'll let you know when I'm done buying. But in the meantime, you're going to start getting a series of offers from me at 25% off. And then I start offering you for team sets. It was a great way for me to get a bunch of team sets, right? You got $2. I'm going to offer you $1.50, $1.50, $1.50, $1.50. And then, because there's individual shipping attached to all of those, I need to be able to buy all 50 of those and then have you say, hey, your shipping is going to be $15 for everything that you're buying. Again, it's a test. They're going to try to probably work out the kinks. Who knows if this sticks or not. Right now, it just makes you raise an eyebrow. I get they're trying to weed out deadbeat buyers. I get that. Good for them for trying something different. I just don't know that this is going to make a lot of people happy at the end of the day, which brings us to our next question and stuff, the one that you had brought up on the screen there momentarily. Yep. eBay is also now asking, I have not got this. I don't know if you guys have, but at least one person we know has got something from eBay. They're asking for front and back pictures of your passport, state ID, driver's license in order to ensure your identity. They're also asking for a copy of your banking statement to verify your banking info. If you don't provide them to eBay, your managed payments funds will be placed on hold. When all of this dropped, I can't say that I didn't see this coming, that they were going to start changing crap.
Well,
And
so in the tech side, we've seen some of the stuff from like Facebook or PayPal, where like you must provide your three forms of ID, a blood sample, a password from 8 different revisions previous.
Where you lived when you were 2.
Exactly. Far more information that they really need to have. Which is where they say, well, it's all secure. Yeah, okay, then why did Bank of America and Equifax and all of these other organizations that are supposed to have it well and secure have all of their information leaked? Right. Things happen. But no, so contain the full document with no part of the document obscured or cropped. Okay, that's fair. Contain the complete MRZ code if providing a passport. Ain't no reason PayPal needs my passport. Contain front and back of the ID document if providing driver's license and national ID card. Okay, maybe to verify that you are who you say you are. Fine, you might get my driver's ID. Being a government official ID document. Okay, fine, sure. You don't want.
You're already
I am 12. This is me. Document. Sure. Okay. Please upload a bank statement that includes the name and address of the account owner or business entity. Includes the bank's name, transaction details. None of that you need. List the bank account number, at least the last 4 digits. Okay, so at least you can obscure it. Which must match the bank account on file with eBay as less than 3 months old. Sorry, you don't need to know how often I go to Whataburger or Sonic. You don't
yes,
need
I
all of
do.
my detailed information.
No, you don't.
I need that.
Nor does eBay. In order to complete our verification process, we were asking you to provide a front and back photo ID, such as passport, driver's license, national ID card. Your ID will be used to validate the identity information you provided previously. We also request that you upload a copy of your recent bank statement so we can verify your bank details. Until you provide us with this documentation, and this is the part that I completely disagree with. Until you provide us with this documentation, your payouts are on hold. So no, you can't take out your money unless you upload all of this information to Daddy eBay. If the eBay account information does not match your ID exactly, we also ask that you update any information that differs from your ID before you proceed with the upload. Please ensure the ID documentation that you provide includes your full legal name and the ID number. So I got to rant on that in a minute. But date of birth. Again, why does eBay need to know what day I was born? Additionally, document you provide needs to be current. Okay, fine. Be in color. Why? Contain the full document with no part of the document is which is okay. So these 2 pictures are transposed in the upload, which is where the rest of this comes. Okay, so for people like me, full legal name. Parents married when I was 6, going on 7. I didn't have a actual legal document until I was 21 because I had received several birth certificates where either they spelled my name with an E instead of an A. They spelled my middle name wrong. They only included one of my middle names. They used my mom's maiden name instead of my dad's name. They spelled my dad's name wrong multiple times over.
Oh, you were born a year earlier than you actually were.
According to the IRS, still working on that. I was born in 1986.
Nope.
Didn't know I was 35.
Nice try.
My mom would have liked to known.
So 1986 is your new favorite set, huh?
According to the IRS.
Truth comes out, buddy.
Guys. Come on.
Or you've had your eBay account before you got married, and now you're married, and now it's like now nothing matches, and it's a problem.
Okay, so even in that case, well, okay, so you got to provide documentation to the state and federal authorities such that, hey, I want to legally change my name from maiden name to married name, or divorced. Same exact thing. Can see that being an issue. Well, why do you need this information, eBay?
So we just put a new roof on our house back in the July, right?
The July.
And we went through like an energy saving program, right? 7% interest. And I'm like, if I refinance my house, I can put it into the house at 3% interest. So let's do that. So my refi guy's like, hey, since we've already worked with you, all we need is like some updated pay stubs, and I forget what the other thing was he asked for. It's like, the most recent mortgage statement. He goes, that's all I need from you. He goes, I got everything else. All you need from me, eBay, is if I want to put a new MasterCard or Visa. That's it. Okay? That's it. Because when you ask me to upload that, I've got to put all of my information in there associated with that card.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Ben goes and checks his MasterCard statement and it says, hey, you paid $50 on eBay, and I go, no, I didn't. I'll take that up with the MasterCard and the Visa and call them up and say, hey, Capital One, what's going on? Somebody used my credit card on the eBay and that wasn't me. You don't need all this stuff. This is a hacker's paradise.
It is.
They've got eBay owns you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need this, so that I can sell, a $1 insert card in a PWE. Are you friggin' kidding me, dude? You want front and back? You want my electric bill, my water bill, and Steph's Whataburger receipts? You don't need to know how many times he upcharges it. That's none of your business.
Don't need to know about my addiction to fizzy soda.
Yeah, we don't need to know if you get the extra pickles and leave the mayonnaise off. That's none of your business.
Depends where we go.
It's ridiculous, man. And we called this on this show. We called this that they were going to change the terms and conditions of managed payments as soon as they got all of us in that box. Because here's the deal: if you don't like this and you don't want to provide this information, you don't get to use eBay anymore.
Mm-hmm.
According to this,
yeah, and right now it's like, oh, we're just going to hold your managed. Okay, so it's only for sellers. Guess what's going to happen after sellers?
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We're already seeing the test subject with the best offers. Now, as a buyer, you can't retract a bid. You have to ask the seller to cancel and all this other stuff. They're changing all of this stuff to control everything, and rightly so. Hey, it's their platform; they can do what they want. If you don't like it, don't use it.
There
you don't
are
like
other options now.
When Jeff Bezos is like, I didn't pay any taxes last year, and we're like, but I did, and I make a little bit less than you do, partner.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, boycott Amazon. You don't like Starbucks? Cool, go to the local coffee grind. Nobody is forcing us to go to any of these places, but if you want to use eBay, you're going to play by their rules, and we called this. Congratulations, here it is. So hopefully this doesn't stick. Again, I have not got it. I don't know if anybody else out there has. The one guy on Twitter had shared it. So managed payments rolled out over 2-year process or something.
It'll take some time before, and there'll be outrage as certain people are hit with this.
Yeah. So anyway, interesting. So Stadium Club Chrome comes out. The checklist has been dropped. Nick Vosbrink had done a little bit of detective work and noticed some interesting and good changes to the Stadium Club Chrome checklist versus the original Stadium Club release. Stadium Club had a base set of 300 cards, and the Chrome version is going to have 400. So Topps has added 100 new subjects. Mm-hmm. Players have been replaced on the Stadium Club Chrome. A couple of them include Marcelo Zuna, Trevor Bauer, Roberto Alomar, and Ramon Laureano. These players were to have alleged committed criminal acts of either domestic violence, sexual misconduct, or in Laureano's case, he was suspended for PED use. What are your thoughts on players that have at least been alleged to do things, if not just downright suspended for violations, such as the PEDs? What are your guys' thoughts on players like this being released? Or replaced, excuse me.
Two things. One, it's not like they're actually losing out because the Players Association gives the teams and the players a cut. So there's that. But I do agree that some of these players should be removed from the sets. Did some digging. The Junko Twins Life 4 guys were dropped from the playlist. These are the 4 that had mentioned. Logan Gilbert was replaced by Marcelo Zuna. Louis Brinson replaces Bauer. Craig Biggio replaces Roberto Alomar, and Lamont Wade Jr. replaces Laureano. They shouldn't deserve to be represented in the set. I know that Panini Optic or Donruss Optic, whatever the set is, I made the huge mistake of doing a lights out with Trevor Bauer. Bad in hindsight. But if you're a father of kids or a father with daughters, do you really want them pulling a domestic abuse card? Do you really want them pulling an auto of that player and then looking it up and finding out why Roberto Alomar is no longer in the Hall of Fame? And it's not like this doesn't have a history in the hobby. I mean, if you look at Ed Boucher, for example, was supposed to be featured in 58 Tops, 59, one of the two, and gets pulled from whatever series it was. There wasn't that card number in the set because of some sexual improprieties that he had, as well as a psychiatric stay. Was featured in later years, but at least he was removed from that set, and it does have a ongoing precedent in the industry. So
now, let me preface this: allegations are just allegations. Whether it's Deshaun Watson, Bauer, Ozuna, they're all independent from one another, and some of the investigations are still going on. Players have been suspended, of course, in the past. Laureano's different because it's PEDs. You don't want to lump him in with the other group. But he violated. Again, they're all in different buckets. Some considerably more serious, but allegations are allegations. That's why until they're proven in court to have committed these crimes, we don't want to condemn them. Everybody is going to have their opinion, but in the meantime, like you said in Boucher's case, let's remove them. In the interim. And we can always add them later to sets down the road if it's found out that these allegations were false and they've had their day in court, or serve time, perhaps. Michael Vick, of course, being very infamously, convicted and having served jail time, prison time at Leavenworth, and then he comes out and he resumes his NFL career. Do we want to start making trading cards of him again? And just because the manufacturer decides to doesn't mean that we as the collector have to. You don't have to. You could say, hey, I got a 300 card set, but I'm only going to do $299 because I don't want Michael Vick in my collection. Sure. To your prerogative. Or I'm only going to have it. Yeah.
Personally, don't remove them. It's just going to cause me checklist craziness of...
Just replace them.
Yeah.
No, don't even remove or replace. Just leave them in. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, but the new 278 or whatever is Lamont Wade of the Giants and not Laureano. That is the checklist card. It's just we're comparing a previous release. This wouldn't even be an issue if Stadium Club Chrome wasn't the Chrome parallel release of the original.
It's a parallel release. It's going to bother me, man.
But they also added...
the exact same checklist because Topps is lazy. And then when they're not lazy, it drives me nuts because now I'm like, I expect them to be lazy. Also, not to mention the rumor mill and the media,
it's all kind of thrust in your
really
face.
Fast.
So you
have a very small window to replace these people. If you miss it, what then? So let's just leave them in. It was planned that way.
Well, and to your point too, Ange, what happens when Stadium Club Chrome comes out tomorrow and God forbid somebody does something on Saturday?
Yeah,
sure.
Like you said, Steph, right? There was a very inappropriately named Trevor Bauer card. We all have Bauer cards in our collection if we collect complete sets, and the Addison Russells and the this guy and this guy and this guy, and there's always another name as we go work backwards. But yeah, things happen. It's, do you collect it moving forward? I give Topps credit on one hand. Hey, you tried to do the right thing by replacing some people that are currently under investigation and have some questionable behavior. Good for you. It's kind of interesting. So maybe we'll see more and more of that. And as Steph alluded to, it was not the first time and perhaps will not be the last either. So some somber news, another theft in the hobby. This came via Ivan at Watch the Breaks. This information has been making its rounds, and rightly so. I've seen this on a couple of different platforms before Chef decided to share it in the. So there's an LCS in Los Angeles, California, named The Bullpen. And it was recently the victim of some major theft, and they've used social media to reach out in hopes to recover some of the lost merchandise. But there's going to be a little bit of a trick. We're not stealing a PSA 10 card here with a serial number. We're stealing sealed wax. So there's always that caveat. If we open it up and sell the cards that are inside,
who knows what was in there?
See, and that's why, in the past, this is completely impossible to have done. But I like that in the past you would have this is box 378 of 999, and the cards on the inside were actually numbered 378 of 999. I completely get that. That's I wouldn't say that in and of itself is impossible. However, to have that sort of collation done, that's just not worth it for the sets. But at least then you would know for sure that, hey, if anyone finds any 378s, let me know what area of the country so I can track down.
Yeah, let local authorities know. Sure.
But that won't happen. And it's unfortunate that it's all of these boxes. So late last night when Harry was leaving the shop, he was held up, tased, and put in a chokehold and zip-tied. We were robbed by two men, possibly a third lookout. Probably a third lookout. Or getaway. One black person referred to by his partner as Alex, and one Hispanic person referred to by his partner as Chris. Still a lot of high-end wax listed on the next side. Harry is thankfully okay, and that's the most important part.
That's good news. Insurance can probably insure it as an LCS.
Sure. And if they're carrying these type of products, I would hope that they have more insurance than most. 96-97 Bowman's Best. You see exquisite basketball. Udi Exclusives box. Topps Chrome for 0304 with LeBron in it. 17-18 National Treasures first off the line boxes. Prism that year. National Treasures 18-19. Prism first off the line. Spectre. Flawless. National Treasures Immaculate. Huge names, key years in those runs.
That's the main thing, yeah.
I mean, you've got LeBron, you have
Kobe would have been in the Bowman's Best.
You have Luka, you have a couple other major names that are in these eras. That certainly Prism, Authentic, Flawless, Bowman Jumbo. Huge names, huge sets. I mean, even 2001 SP Authentic Gold.
That would be a Tiger.
Speaking of past improprieties.
He has survived somehow.
I made a comeback, if you will. But
and that last one alluded to the fact that they've got plenty of security. That was not the issue. They were jumped while closing up. So if you have any leads or anything, you're in the LA area and you see any of this stuff, please alert local authorities, reach out to the bullpen, reach out to Ivan, anything you can think of. Let's see if we can get some of this recovered. But unfortunately, if they go and open all of that and start selling off the singles,
Well, and you would hope that, if anything of that nature gets sent to PSA just out of the blue. PSA hasn't seen number 23 of 99 previously and number 78 of 150 of this, that maybe it's a little suspicious to pull the guy's name. But
and what we can hope for if they do open it is that, guys that fit the description named Alex and Chris walk into a local card show in the LA area soon and are trying to offload a Luka and a Kobe and a Tiger and go, that's very curious that guys named Alex and Chris have these exact cards from these very specific years. So, but I doubt we're
selling those boxes or as a case. Like I got a case.
You go directly back to the shop and try to sell it.
We're not that lucky, but at the same time, when you're dealing with criminals, you just never know how stupid they might be. So
how many
hopefully
are in the ground box?
Good news. Hey, Harry's good. Congrats. Wish him the best. as far as that goes from the human side of things, he's got his life. That's the most important thing. Merchandise can be replaced. Insurance can recover, hopefully, at some of those losses. But if you have any leads or hear anything, see anything, please notify us, notify anybody that might be able to pass that message around and get it to the right ears and the right authorities and whatnot. So $20,000 does not buy you what it used to. Via B Grove 916 on Twitter, he tagged card purchaser and had this to say, Steph.
Well, after a cool 20,000 in cards ripped this year on retail alone, I think I'm done. Retail is just too overproduced, and hobbies are too expensive usually. I'm assuming hobby boxes. Biggest hits are cards like a LeBron Tribute Dunk Silver Prism to a Justin Herbert Premier Level White die cut.
I was busy laughing. Can you do me a favor, Steph, and read that first sentence? Just the first sentence again.
After a cool 20,000 in cards ripped this year on retail alone, I think I'm done.
Retail.
Dude, we're admitted to spending 20 grand on allegedly on, wait for it. What'd you say, Ange?
Retail. Retail's meant for getting a taste, not for $20,000 this year.
Just, I got visions of Jim Mora in my head. Retail.
This is something you add to your cart at the end of your shopping. I did the adult thing and I went to the grocery store.
I hope you realized way before 20,000 that retail is way overproduced. I buy retail here and there and open for the enjoyment of it, but I just buy the singles I want these days instead of chasing kabooms and downs and stuff like that. Just buy and collect what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, bro, just an adrenaline junkie.
Then don't buy retail if you're an adrenaline junkie. Buy hobby. If you're spending $20,000 on retail, there is definitely there's room to buy hobby there.
You would
buy a case of something and rip it.
Yeah, where you're guaranteed a case hit, or theoretically guaranteed a case hit, right? And if you got 20 grand to spend on cases, you can get a couple of cases and probably get it at a fairly good wholesale price, especially if you've got an LCS.
It's willing to work with you, and it's like, I only need a couple boxes for the LCS, but if you want to go in on a case and buy most of the case,
or split a case, or they weren't previously allocated, and they know that they can get a ton of them, and they have Diamond Kings boxes to spare.
You know what? We don't know how liquid this person is. Maybe they've got the disposable income, but at the same time, just the optics of that tweet, very funny.
Very hilarious.
God bless his soul. So, Project 70, Project 86, via Topps, week ending 11/6/21. Topps had 2 days in which they had just 2 cards drop. Most recently, the Friday, where they had 2 Aaron Judge cards. On Monday the 8th through Wednesday the 10th, they've had none, allegedly, starting back up tomorrow, Thursday, November 11th, according to an earlier tweet. At least one artist, Action Bronson, has quit the project. We discussed last week that Soulfly had an IP issue with his Otani. I imagine Topps has had other IP-related issues as artists have used album covers, video game tributes, and other protected copyright properties. Why are we seeing so many issues with Project 70? Is this IP issues? Is it artist related? Is it cash flow? Is it waning interest? Something else? What's going on?
Well, so as an update to their initial, no new Project 70 launch today, but more cards are coming soon. Stay tuned. Posted today around noon. Update. It's back in full beginning tomorrow. So makes you wonder if they didn't pull some of the artists aside and say, hey, here's an updated. If you want to stay in, you can stay in. Maybe not the case. Don't know. But it is interesting that there was a stop, there was a start, then there was 3, and now there's 4, and now there's 2, now there's none.
Has there ever
and
been
I mean, I know
one?
what's given to artists, they're natural inclination is to do some personalization and put their own twist and spin on it. But maybe some IP issues needed to be resolved before you gave everyone free reign to do whatever they wanted. Maybe.
So
just poor planning. Like, you could have planned this out way better.
you would think, right? Especially when you have, but that's hard when you have so many artists involved, and
they don't have that many.
Well, they've got 51 of them.
Then have 20.
Well, they've got 50 at least now because Action Bronson is MIA.
Mm-hmm.
But so Lauren Taylor, one of the featured artists, one of the more prominent ones that are active in the community, it's at the National, very active on Facebook and other groups. She had kind of dispelled and put an end to a few different rumors. One of the artists allegedly had said the project is over with. Probably just rumor, probably made up by somebody.
Maybe for that person.
Yeah, and who knows if an artist said it or if it's just an internet rumor. But she said that she was in recent meetings with Topps executives. The project is alive and well, using her words. I don't have the Facebook post in front of me. But she said that the project is going to move forward. And if there was ever an issue where they were going to try to end it, a lot of the artists that are still active and interested and rely on this for income would all get together and start, breach of contract. So she is under the impression that we will move forward. The question is, the project currently sits right around 70%, go figure, complete, with an estimated date of completion sometime in February if it does continue with the 4 cards per day, and it does complete all 1,020 cards.
Wow, 19.
19 what?
Didn't they pull the Otani? So there'd be one.
Well, yeah, there would be, yeah. I mean, at least one less unless they allow him to make an additional card.
Sure.
But then the other thing is Action Bronson only made a couple of cards, so you would have perhaps 15 to 17 more that somebody would have to make up for to hit the full 1,020. I don't think it comes close to that number. I think it finishes around 975, somewhere in there, 950, 975 when all is said and done. Because I do think part of the issue is Topps had some serious IP issues with some of the other ones that had come out recently. Because some of them are just blatant ripoffs where, a little bit here, a little bit there. Oh, hey, that's cool. They're on a video game cover, but you can't do that. That's protected and copyrighted trademark properties. You're not allowed to just borrow in the name of art. And there are laws in place as well that allow artist freedoms, but this whole thing has turned into a mess. So let's stay tuned. It's definitely interesting nonetheless, whether you love the project or, like me, you can't stand it. It's definitely interesting to view as a fly on the wall and just kind of keep tabs on it. Cracknell even called me out, and he's like, why, for somebody who hates the project so much, he goes, you sure do talk about it a lot. I'm like, well, we got the show. and it's like a train wreck. It's fascinating to watch. I mean, it really is a crap show. So Topps released their 2022 Rookie Cup team. Steph, you want to read the team, and then we can discuss us?
Quick rundown. I found Lauren Taylor's post, or at least Facebook. I couldn't find the post in question, but I did have to kind of show this shot of Blake Jameson and her at seemingly a Topps party.
I don't know if they're single.
Birds and coffee.
Yeah, I don't know if they're single or not, but they're always together, and they make a cute couple. I would like to think in my Project 2020 70 world,
best friends, besties,
that Jameson and Taylor are gonna,
they'll team up and do something.
And then 20 years from now, we're gonna see their kid grow up and be part of Project.
No pressure, guys.
No pressure.
2041. And it'll be like a triple card, mom, dad, kid collab. Yeah. Triple relic for triple threads. There we go.
So
it'd be on a shoe. You gotta bring back the sneakers.
Yeah, if they're still around. By then, hopefully we're riding, in some kind of a,
who knows what.
Yeah.
So from Topps, this just in. Congratulations to the Topps Rookie Cup team. Every year dating back to 1959 for now. Topps selects the best rookie eligible players at each position to the Rookie Cup team. These players' 2022 Topps Series 1 or Series 2 base cards will feature the Rookie Cup trophy logo. Rookie Cup teams. So you got at catcher Tyler Stevenson, first baseman Ryan Mountcastle, second baseman Jonathan India, third baseman Patrick Wisdom, shortstop Wander Franco, outfielder. It doesn't seem like they gave any sort of left, center, right, but outfielder Randy Arozarena, Adolis Garcia, Dylan Carlson. I'm butchering names. I'm sorry, guys. A right-handed pitcher, Luis Garcia. Left-handed pitcher, Trevor Rogers, twin of Taylor Rogers. And relief pitcher, Emmanuel Clase.
Okay.
So my question to you, Steph, is this the only group of individuals that are going to have rookie cups next year? Is that what this announcement means?
Normally, yes. This is
Okay.
Thompson's. These are the people that are getting the cup.
Gotcha. Okay. Just want to make sure I understood it. Other listeners that maybe might have been questioning if that was it. So if you're not on that list, you're not going to see a rookie cup from any of your 2021 rookies.
At least that's the way it's been done in the past.
Yeah.
Which is fair. That's the whole purpose of this announcement, right? Is these are your guys. So for people that want to put some stock in that, but hey, that's cool. Good recognition. Rookie cup is always a cool second year card, like the 1988 Topps McGuire.
So an interesting tidbit and off-spin of that. Some of the originals, it was actually a cup that was awarded. So for example, here we go. Perfect. Share. And I'm sure they do still now, but here's Gary Carter's image provided Heritage Auctions, which you can see wherein we get the current Topps All-Star rookie design. Right? Fancy. The elder cards would receive like McCovey's 1960. This is a reprint, I'm pretty sure, but it's not very descript, but a much closed up shot is a ball player post swing on top of a hat on top of the initial plaque base. But that's pretty cool. Congrats to the rookies.
And I was today years old when I found out that when they do around the horn, when they, after like a strikeout and they skip the first baseman, that's started with the Yankees when Lou Gehrig was starting to come down with ALS and he was too weak to be a part of that. So they skipped him and the tradition held, and it's been holding, 100 years, 80 years into the future. I didn't know that. Did not know that. Really neat. So, Steph, did you want to share the PWCC versus COMC story that we talked about yesterday?
Yeah, so I mean, I can't get it into super particulars, but essentially, so somebody on the social media is tagged PWCC, COMC, and a bunch of other companies, and they'd questioned some auctions that had gone on. In particular, a numbered 255 of 5 PSA slabbed Spider-Man Precious Metal Gem from a Fleer Metal set, 2017, I believe.
Great.
That PWCC had up for auction. It sold a good chunk of change. And then they'd advertised, hey, this is our monthly highs. Check out the card. Cool deal. Except that they didn't have the card. Nice going, guys. What had happened? What had happened was the person. You okay? Okay. The person that had sent it to PWC for auction changed their mind, asked for it back, sent it to us. We processed it, and we are currently auctioned, or had recently just finished the auction thereof. That Spidey Man PMG. And it came to light that PWCC was in the wrong, and our marketing team had a little bit of fun with it per se. Not really so much trying to poke fun at the person who unfortunately will not be receiving that card and will receive a credit for their several thousands purchase. But we'd made a statement stating that I'm trying to get it pulled up here. For those that are looking forward to bidding on this card, it is currently up for auction. And here's the post. Then I will go to the thing to hit share and do the thing with really nice looking card, right? It has a magenta, it has a PSA slab.
It's still going.
It has the auction X eBay. Excited to share this stunning Spider-Man precious metal gem ending this Friday. Okay, so it ends on Friday. There you go. On eBay, it's amazing card, purple, and it's graded by PSA. Everything that I've said before. Card is safe and secure in the COMC headquarters, waiting for its winner.
It's where Steph?
In the safe and secure areas of the COMC headquarters.
COMC.
In regions unknown, not PWCC, that as they claimed to have had, and as they were advertising, that was one of their biggest auctions of the month. Well, slight misstep, guys.
I know it's at auction, so we don't know for sure. But what is something like that going to sell for? What are we thinking? Are we thinking it's a?
I honestly don't know.
Well, I can pull the auction, but from memory, it sold for several high thousands to tens of thousands.
Because I remember talking to MTT Trading about a similar card. I don't think it was the Spider-Man, but it was one of the PMG cards of one of the superheroes, and he was talking about that card selling for like $20,000, and I was like, I'd respond, I'm like, okay, I don't understand this market.
It's number 99.
Try not to be combative here, but why is that card worth that kind of money? And he explained to me, about the cross promotion of it. Yeah, there was a lot of different variables, and it's fascinating to me because, again, hey, I didn't know the market. I was just trying to be, a student there and learn about something that's, non-sports and why something like that. Because, off the top, the naive assumption would be that there's not a lot of market for that, but then you also have people that aren't necessarily hobbyists that might be interested as a one-off. Yeah, a lot of people that collect Superman collect the old 1960s Superman cards. I'm not a card collector, but I'm a Superman collector, so I have to have those. So it was kind of interesting that day to learn about that. So let's keep an eye on that.
She found it. It is currently with 19 bids at $6,100.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Propstein is currently auctioning 3 of 5 for $12,000. And
but you guys know about Propstein.
But I mean, it's Propstein. So,
what are the odds it gets?
Also, I think it's a little bit further along in its.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe once somebody gets burned or the PWCC guy gets burned, guess who has another on Friday?
We know that eBay auctions are very similar to the last 2 minutes of a basketball game, right?
Oh yeah,
right.
Only watch the last 2 minutes of a close basketball game. The first 46 minutes don't matter. Same thing. The real action is going to last in the last 60 to 90 seconds, probably the last 10 to 15, if we're being honest.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like at a couple minutes, you'll start to see the movement, and then it won't stop moving.
Somebody will probably jump it just enough to try to scare off the majority of interested bidders, leaving just 2 or 3 at the end. And then they'll all probably put their final bid in with 5 seconds left, and may the best
or have a sniper that they think is going to win, and then it doesn't.
I would not trust a sniper on that one. On a $2 card.
But that's not to say that some people won't.
Yeah. And who knows? If you don't care as much, perhaps I've used sniper apps in the past, and they are great, but I would never trust one with something I really, really want that I can't get again. So, Eric at those back pages presented a question. Steph, if you want to grab the poll on this. Yes, this the other day. He says, what if Fanatics drops an atomic bomb on the hobby?
An atom bomb?
An atom bomb?
Yeah.
If an addict blows it all into hell and decides to only create their own brand of cards, we keep collecting. 89 votes, poll finished. 19% said no, 23% said yes, 29%, including me, said collectors never stop, and 28.1% said 1952 to 2022 for me. So the idea being that no, I'm not going to keep collecting. Yes, I'm going to keep collecting, and then some variation thereof, just with more words. It's the same thing, just more words.
More words.
Collectors never stop because, well, we don't, and we have bad habits that we need to. Maybe not necessarily $20,000 retail habits, but habits that need entertained, or those that are just going to drop it after Tops is out.
Bad habits lead to late nights.
So you could look at this poll like it's really 80% yes, 20% no.
Yeah.
And you're right. You're right up against the 100 mark. So that's basically 80 said yes, 20 said no, give or take a couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, granted, yes is not the same as collectors never stop. You could probably put those two together. People that said that 2020 and before vintage to 2020 or, tobacco to 2020.
Mm-hmm.
It is a different group because they're not collecting they're not collecting fanatics. They're collecting stuff that's already been printed, is already at market.
But at the end, that's the best part. I mean, all of that is available for you to go back and pick up.
Yeah, at all times. That's the thing. If going back to the Luber manifesto, where he's talking about this market crisis if the entire hobby imploded. Okay, cool. If the entire hobby imploded and there's nothing new ever going to be produced come 2031, 2032, all of us collectors, true collectors, you would always have something, and there would always be inventory for you to go back and collect. Why? Because people die. People have to sell off out of desperation or lack of interest and financial hardships, and there's always going to be a revolving inventory. Collectors will always be around. You just might not, in that theory, if the market imploded, then there's nothing new. Okay, no more manufacturers, no more new baseball cards. Fine. I've got a lifetime worth of stuff to collect. Going back to stuff that Steph always says you have to have it is when you get to the ink period or INC with no period variations of Donruss and no foil upper decks and there's always stuff that if you had everything your heart desired, you still are going to find stuff on that next wave of my checklist dating back to 1909 is complete. And then Mark Hoyle pops up and says, "You have this?" "No, Mark, I don't have this." So it's not complete. And then if I ask Steph, "Hey, take a look at my checklist and find out what I left off," I'm sure my checklist is 30-40% complete because he would come up with all kinds of, well, how many, and again, right, go back to the parallels. It's not complete if I don't have every single parallel of every single ace card ever produced. Therefore, again, you could always go back and add stuff to your database, your want list.
Spreadsheet.
So this was an interesting question. I liked some of the responses. What are some of the unwritten rules of the hobby via baseball card BM? We all have our own pet peeves and best practices, but besides personal ones that might be individualistic, what are some of them that should be universally understood and accepted? A few of the responses.
Sure.
They're different. Do you want to read through them?
I'll read through them after. It sounds like she has
no Scotch tape on the top loader. Just don't do it.
No, I picked out a couple stuff here in the notes. They are different for buyers and sellers. No Scotch tape on top loaders. Addendum. No tape at all. You don't need blue tape either. I'd like this one. Be positive on other people's posts.
The
teach,
team bag
not troll.
Exists and it's amazing, and everyone should use them.
Listen, I preach this every day. Always be positive on people's posts. Why do you have to troll? I mean, this is totally me.
Ben,
I mean, yeah, be positive.
Don't do this.
Have fun. If you aren't, maybe reconsider this as your hobby. And to your guys' points, I do have fun when I troll in your faces. Never chew the gum if it's over 10 years old.
I mean, that's definitely a thing that you have to do, especially after the 20-year mark.
Ben, I challenge you to use to just reply to people one day only using gifts from the West Wing.
Oh, I love that idea. That's a great idea, Ange. And speaking of that, in the Luber article, he used one of my favorite quotes from Bartlett in the West Wing about in our house, why use one word when 10 will do. I love, yeah. I think
now you're gonna make me read the whole thing looking for that quote now. Thanks.
It's earlier on.
F is your friend.
Okay.
Comps aren't really what the card is worth. Always take to social media to cry about how you got screwed by the manufacturer when you don't hit anything good. Don't be cheap when shipping. Don't hijack. This is a real good one. Don't hijack someone's sales post to try to sell your own cards. I like that one. Some are sarcastic, right? Some are funny. That one is real. Don't. If somebody's trying to sell something, don't. Hey, I got stuff too. And also say at the same ilk. If somebody is like on Facebook and they're like, hey, I'm looking for Mark McGuire cards and people are posting, I have claimed McGuire cards with the caveat of, hey, if the original poster is not interested, because obviously you're responding to them, I am an interested buyer if they pass. Mm-hmm. And just qualify it. Say, hey, I'll buy it, but obviously that person's got dibs. Mm-hmm. Throw away your dupes. I love this one. This was great. Throw away your dupes in order to elevate the worth of the market, right? So if I've got 10, I'm going to throw away 9. That way one exists. And if we all do that with our dupes, so I thought that was funny. And then leave eBay feedback or any other platform where that's an option. What are some of your guys' unwritten rules or stuff, if you want to scroll through it and see if there's any that caught your eye that did not catch mine?
I can. Naturally pay for things that you agree to pay for. Package well. I would say help the hobby, as in, if someone's asking a question, you don't have to slam them and explain, oh my God, this is like the 10th time I've gone over it this week. I shouldn't have to explain this. Or that the hobby has to explain this. Okay, well, but there's always new people. And there's nothing wrong with some new people. Where they go from there and how they are guided and their knowledge base, or whether they choose to even keep collecting, that's another story. Then I think that just goes along with the don't be a jerk part. Scotch tape, sorry, Ben, I agree with blue painter's tape. You can use it over a team bag if you want.
No, I agree.
When done right.
Don't put it on the top loader. You want to put it on the team bag to secure the team bag and secure that top loader inside the team bag. Hey, I'm in your camp now. I'll get onto your hill on that one.
There was one good one in here that I saw while scrolling down.
Yes. I grabbed these the other day, the ones that I had pointed out. So for the show notes, so it's quite possible that there were some pretty good ones after I had looked and added.
You good?
I'm good.
You guys okay?
Don't ask what the service scratch is on a 330 card complete set.
Gosh, please
if I had the time to answer that question, I'd be concerned about myself. And then there was one something to the effect of, hey, always be sure to post whenever somebody has a huge hot night. That way you can triple the price as a lot and make sure that you screw over the hobby. Like, obviously, huge sarcasm font, at least I hope.
Theoretically.
You know what this hobby and the world in general, for that matter, needs? We all need to radiate positivity like Jimmy. Man, it's like a kid in the candy store. Every time he gets something, there's something to be said about that kind of positivity. Keep sharing the fire with us. As he shared a Braves jersey that he bought. With some of the key guys from their World Series run.
See if we can get Jimmy on the show. We haven't had him on in a long time.
Oh yeah.
We've got like 2 dates open in December, so let's see if we can get him on one of those dates. Mm-hmm. I would love to have I would love to have a conversation between Uncle Rich, Chris Carlin, and Jimmy, and just let the three of those guys, because there'd just be too much coolness and awesomeness and positivity. My head might explode.
To Jimmy, I heard, props by the way, that he signed off on opening up a Bronx Kentucky Roadshow shop.
Good for him. Good for him.
So,
I'm excited to go see the one in
seems to be
the Napa
business as
Valley. So yeah, got two more things we can cover tonight. Steph had brought this up. Interesting topic as a seller, regardless of platform. We previously discussed as a seller if you'd want to know if your item was grossly overpriced based on recent comps. Steph brought up, how about if you were unknowingly doing something to potentially damage an item, such as screw downs, or using a scanner that might damage the cards? If you were a seller, would you want to know?
See, and I think this goes to how you go about doing it. If you go to letting someone know, hey, you're doing it wrong. You must do it this way. There's something wrong with that. But I mean, if you're coming to someone and say, hey, see, you're using screw downs, there's nothing wrong with that. They were common however long ago. However, now we have certain better things. If you'd like, I can show you how to do it. Or I can give you a couple examples of people that have said, hey, when I tried to unscrew it, the card stuck to it, lost paper loss. What has you? You're welcome to do what you want. It's all yours. However, let me show you maybe a better way.
If it stays in the screw down, there's no problem. It's the problem when it comes out of the screw down.
Well, sure. But who's going to just keep something in a screw down plaqued on a wall for the end of time? It's eventually going to come out.
You know, on
There's
Facebook,
that one guy.
On Facebook, from time to time, I will reach out when there's somebody that posts something and it's overpriced, for instance, and it's like, you know, a lot of trolls are on there. Yeah, sometimes it's nice to sit down, especially if you know the person just doesn't seem like they're aware. Say, hey, look, you know, you're trying to sell these cards for $2 each when they're available on other platforms like Sport Lots for 18 cents. Not trying to trump on your, you know, troll on your post, just trying to let you know what the potential market is for them. Hope this helps. You know, and that's always a good way to end it as well. Hey, hope this helps, so that hopefully, because it's text, right?
Mm-hmm.
Text, you know, I am very matter of fact, very absolute when I write, and a lot of times it comes across like a jerk, like a prick. I get that. I get that from my wife. She's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Nothing's wrong. I'm just having a conversation." And she's like, "Yeah, but the way you write it makes it seem like you're being a jerk to me." And it's like, okay, I'm so I can't not write that way. It's just the way it comes across. And I've had plenty of people on Twitter that have watched our show, Steph, and they come and say, "You're nothing like you are on Twitter when you're on the show." And it's like, but I am. It's just the way it comes across as it's being read. And
Unfortunately, there's no sarcasm font on Twitter.
Yeah, that perception versus reality. And if you're having a bad day and you read something, and you know, I had made a comment the other day, poor investors, and somebody that has 10 followers that doesn't follow me comes out and starts going on this rant, and I'm like, he didn't catch it. He's like, well, the sarcasm wasn't there. I'm like, if you're a brand new Twitter account that doesn't know me, and when I go, poor investors, you're not going to catch that because you don't know my humor, you don't know my sarcasm. He's like, there was no sarcasm there. It's like, yeah, there was. Anybody who follows me and knows me is going to get exactly what that means.
And maybe more of a recent example, know who you know, who you're friends with, how your joking camaraderie goes back and forth with someone, maybe about height or your disagreements over certain topics or what have you. It's always a thing. That's the thing. I mean, from the outside looking in, you never know what's going on with someone, and you never know how things are to be taken. I mean, for the most part, in my case, I've had people come up to me after we meet in person and they're like, "You're the same person." Yeah, because for the most part, I that's just the way that's the way I be. But you know, unfortunately, sometimes for certain people and just in general, text doesn't come across the same way. You know, even GIFs or videos or even this podcast, we can be taken out of context just as easily.
Or GIFs even, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I do want to give props, by the way. Somebody had contacted me via DM. I think, yeah. Heavy 16, Derek, said, hey, speaking of, correcting our David Adams Canada import-export situation from last week. Said, hey, Steph, I'm just catching up on last week's show, and I'm at the part where you guys are talking about the AHL set and international shipping. So when you see stuff like can't ship international until X date, that means that stores such as Blowout and David Adams can't ship to Canada. So that's kind of what we thought.
Okay.
Since up here in Canada, we're a touch crazy about hockey. You could say that. The prices will normally go up pretty fast when dealing with distributors, while in the U.S., hockey doesn't move as fast. It's a fair assumption. For certain regions, most definitely. Meaning the price doesn't happen as quickly, making it cheaper for Canadians to buy from the U.S. rather than support their LCS. So by making it so that diamond dealers, Upper Deck program, can't sell from the U.S. to Canada. It's so that there's product for the U.S. and not just Canadians trying to poach product for cheaper prices. Hope that makes sense, and it does. Thank you. And also that there are some stores that are authorized internet retailers, and they also have to follow the rules that Upper Deck has. Sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's a year. So there's a perfect clarification to a comment that I kind of thought I knew, but clarification is never unappreciated. A perfect shot on goal that slightly goes off and you tap in, hey, it's a goal still in the end. The information gets spread, and I appreciate the correction.
Yeah, well, I think we kind of opened it up, like if anybody knows, and Derek came through with an awesome answer. That's awesome, dude. I'm glad we know that. So it's not that they don't have the product there; they just can't buy it from the U.S. to.
Kind of, I would assume then, kind of like Panini's whole. You can only sell it from this time to this time for this price, and from this time to that time price that they had previously. And I guess this is just more internationally speaking. I get it; it makes sense.
So if this product really will not move in the U.S. as fast as it will in Canada. In Canada, it'll be like.
But they don't have to wait for it. Essentially, they have access to it there. They just can't get any of the U.S. product for 6 months to a year.
Sure.
Awesome. So we'll know what that means next time when I'm putting the show notes together and we mention it. We don't have to say, well, what does that mean? Thank you, Derek. We appreciate that information. So
definitely.
Before we head out real quick, the other day I'm on the Facebook yesterday.
The
Facebook or the metaverse or whatever it's going to be called. So I'm in this group, or was in this group. I left the group right after this conversation because they like reindeer games. They like Facebook games. Somebody posted George Brett, 75 George Brett, deal or no deal.
Mini or
top? I'm like, it was the normal size. I was like, listen, it's literally an established market. The card is 45 years old. Say you want $50 for it, and then field offers from there. It's like, don't play this deal or no deal game. These stupid Facebook games, and that's what I said. I said, man, just list the price you want. Stop with these stupid, childish kindergarten Facebook games. Yeah, it's stop. You want $50 for it? Say you want $50 for it. If nobody wants to pay for it, cool. Somebody wants to pay you $40 and you don't want to take it, don't take it. But don't say, hey, deal or no deal, and somebody's like 15, no deal. 20, no deal. It's like you're just craving attention. Either it means two things. Either one, you're not serious about selling, or two, you're looking for a sucker or a mark to overpay based on fluid comps. That's really what it comes down to. Because if it's a $50 card and somebody's like, oh, I'll give you 75. Deal. I was only wanting 50. And that dude paid 75. And somebody did comment and said that he's been in plenty of groups where deal or no deals happen, and it's very, very rare that the item actually sells because, it's just like, just quit playing games. And then one of the moderators hopped in and he goes, well, we don't really do that here. We allow these. I'm like, cool, then this group's not for me, dude. Literally the whole reason I'm on Facebook is to get content for the podcast because you guys on Facebook are hilarious. Some of the stuff that goes on there is classic. Once in a while, you get some good stuff, and there are some really good Facebook groups. There is a Topps Heritage group that really works. Fellow collectors work to help complete everybody's short print sets and stuff. That Heritage group, really good. The About the Cards Buy Sell Trade group, really good. There are some really good ones on there, but a lot of it is just knucklehead nonsense and great for entertainment.
And this is
That's
why we
just
try to
Facebook.
avoid Facebook.
It's just
That's right.
Facebook in general.
So do either of you guys have anything before we head out?
You still can't do that, right?
I can't do it. I think he does it through his
No.
teeth, and I can't do it.
No, not really. I mean, nothing to announce anyway.
I'm hungry.
Whataburger open
Dinner
till
did not
midnight.
get made before this.
Well, Dad's out celebrating the Marine Corps birthday, of course.
So we got some exciting upcoming guests next week on November 17th. Jeffrey Selesky.
Selsky.
Selsky.
Or
Before Thanksgiving, Wednesday before Thanksgiving, we will have a show that's November 24th. That's going to be Jeff Soxie coming back. We'll talk some economics. If you have any questions for him,
So
let's
what
get
you're
some
saying
for him.
is then I need to get my Bucky's blanket all nice and ready. Maybe get an extra pillow for up here.
Yeah, make yourself nice and
Snooze
cozy.
for the
We
first
will-
45 minutes. No, I'm joking.
We'll lull people to sleep.
I love talking to Jeff.
He's great, and I like getting another voice in the economics, so it's not just me preaching this crap. December 1st, we're supposed to have Forensic Card Grading CEO Matt Schwartz on. I need to confirm with him. We also will have Andrew Renault sitting in with us as a third. And then right now, December 8th, we're going to have Tim Shepler back.
Yay.
At Big Ship 79, he's opening up his LCS on the 27th of November. So we're hoping to have him on the 8th, and he can talk to us a little bit about how that all happened, what it's like to be in the card biz from the LCS perspective. And then the aforementioned Chris McGill from House of Jordans and Card Ladder will be on December 15th. December 22nd is currently open, and Dub Mentality, Joey Shiver, is coming on December 29th to close
In
out
pencil.
the 2021 year. In pencil, because he canceled on us tonight, and I was like, no way are you getting pen, dude. No way.
No pen. I am the ultimate villain. I am the last resort, and that is what I am.
That's far from a last resort.
I am the last
Next,
resort.
You appear every 10, 15 episodes.
assistant
You're
to
well
the
loved.
last resort.
Indeed.
You can't hate
No,
Angela.
The associate producer of the show.
Dub reached out to Steph and I. We confirmed yesterday, and he did have an emergency. So all kidding aside, right? We hope everything's okay with that. But he's like, you guys are probably going to hate me. And I'm like, time out. We already do, but continue. So
Again.
he's like, yeah, let me know when you got an opening. He goes, I definitely want to come on. Just couldn't do it tonight. So hope all is well with Dub.
Today. Was like, oh yeah, you're gonna be on the show today. I'm like, oh really? Oh really?
Hey, you're getting post show dinner out of it. So okay.
I hope.
And if we can get Jason Mazara with Upper Deck on soon, somebody might get pushed because, we're really excited to have him on. So we'll see if we can get that. Remember, we're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 Central on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. Remember, we're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific.
10 Central.
11
YouTube.
Eastern, 1 p.m. Korean.
Central 1 p.m.
And if you listen in
4
a time
a.m.
zone that we don't mention and you want yours mentioned by Steph at the end of the show, please submit in writing express written consent
pencil.
for Major League Baseball. Make sure to subscribe, review on all show platforms. Follow us on the Twitter and the Instagram at About the Cards. You can follow Steph at
Junkwax Twins.
You can follow Angela at
Another _ castle or Junkwax
Weird.
Life.
Junkwax Life. All right, that's easy to remember. No underscores necessary. You can follow me at Our Trading Cards. Please share your hobby stories, great pulls. Share your mail days. We want to get some of those on. Let's do a video. We haven't had a video yet. Somebody, please send your questions our way. Keep collecting. Collect what you like. Enjoy.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.